We are back with our second panel in today's event, Crypto Plovdiv 21. I've got a question. What pops up in your head when you hear the word banks? In my mind, I get almighty. But then I get, oh, wait a second, aren't banks losing their edge? Because there's a new kid in town, and it's called DeFi. So why does the world need DeFi? I've got the perfect match to tell today. Theory and practice combined. So right now I'm sitting between a leading world-known crypto economist, Hristo Piyankov, and two finance professionals, Ivo Grigorov and Valentin Dimitrov, who are taking TradFi and DeFi by the horns with their amazing Credify platform. Hristo, wow, over 150 crypto projects behind your team's back.
Yep.
That's truly amazing. Please take us by the hand and walk us through the backbone of crypto projects.
First, thank you for this amazing intro. A little bit regarding myself. So I come here as a representative of my team, FinDaS. We are experts in tokenomics, so we do one thing and one thing alone, and this is structuring the monetary and fiscal policies behind projects who want to launch their own tokens or even launch their own blockchains. Just to mention a few projects that we have worked with to date, we worked with the world's first ISPO, which is initial stake pool offering on Cardano, which raised over $1 billion in under 2 months. We worked with Alithia AI, the project for interactive NFTs, which had the biggest ever sale on OpenSea for over 17 million in their original offering for NFTs. And we worked with Bridge Mutual, which is the world's first fully decentralized and permissionless insurance protocol. Also, I'm happy to say that we have worked with those guys which we are currently here on the stage, and from the next panel we have also worked with the people from there. So what I'm going to talk about is what is tokenomics, how it fits into DeFi, and everything which you need to know about it as much as we can fit within the time frame, obviously. So, right, so what is tokenomics? Essentially, crypto economics, what you need to understand, it's a mix of game theory which tries to solve coordination problems. As Zheny very well mentioned in the first presentation, in the real world we have law, in the crypto we have code, but there are problems which we cannot solve with code. For the problems that we cannot solve using code, we need game theory and we need a way to solve these human coordination problems. So this is the core definition of crypto economics. Okay. So what crypto economics is not, it's what most of the people understand, and they see, okay, this is our token sale, those are our allocations, we are going to sell at this price, we are going to have those vestings. So it is not just that. Let's say it is maybe 2% of the entire crypto economics, the least important bit. Every time that we have a project come to us, they come and tell us, okay, how many tokens should we have? What should be our allocation? What should happen? Guys, you need to figure out what will your token do before you try to figure out how many will you sell and what are you going to, and how you're going to allocate them. And why do we need crypto economics? I already mentioned that because in a decentralized and permissionless system, you cannot really count on a central authority to enforce rules. Now, obviously, we are talking here about regulation. I'm not talking about top-level, state laws or EU-based laws, but I'm talking when you create your internal ecosystem. If you don't have a central authority to enforce the rules, you need to enforce them somehow. And the best way to do it is in a decentralized manner via the proper game theory and incentives. So let's talk a little bit about, again, crypto economics, which is the good part. I don't know, maybe some of you who have been part in the crypto space can recognize some of those pictures which I have put up here. This is essentially the crypto economic setup of Aave, one of the biggest lending protocol. And really, there is a great question. When Aave did their token economics, do we need a Aave token at all? And my answer is no, we do not need to have a token in order for Aave to work, but this is the best token economy setup which I recommend to everyone. Your system should work without a token, but the token should enhance and improve the functionality of your system. It should be the cherry on top which brings additional value to your users. So, respectively, what is the bad part when a project comes to us and we ask them, guys, why do you need a token? And the answer is to raise money, of course. You know, this is not a good enough reason for you to have a token. Maybe if you have a great idea and really funding is everything which is in the way between you having your project done, then maybe it's an okay reason at best. But really, there should be value added via your token economy setup within your project. Otherwise, why do it? And finally, we have the good, the bad. Let's finish with the ugly. I won't even comment those. If you know them and if you want to argue, I am here after that. But if you like those projects, probably we have nothing to talk about in regards to crypto economics. Right. So let's briefly go over a taxonomy of tokens. I promise, Jenny, that we won't be very, boring, but unfortunately we are economists. Boring is what we do, so we have to go at least through some taxonomy of what is there. So when we talk about tokens, we have the first major kind of tokens are the productive tokens. So essentially any kind of token which can generate cash flows for their users is a productive token, or a token which reduces in supply via burning. Good examples of these are, for example, the SushiSwap and Uniswap LP tokens, and for burning the Binance, the BNB token. Those tokens can be valued reliably via discounted cash flow analysis. So they are closer to regular securities, and pretty much we know how to value them in a reliable way. So then we have non-productive tokens, and in the non-productive token space, we can talk about utility tokens, which were already mentioned. Some examples, tokens which are doing discounts, providing access to platforms, providing rewards and penalties for their users. And the thing which I really need to stress and get out there, payment is not a utility. Every token can be used for payment. Ergo, payment is not a fundamental utility. We have so many projects to us coming, and we are asking them, okay, what is the use case of your token? Is the only thing which can be used to purchase goods and services on our platform. Okay, why not use Ethereum? Why not use Bitcoin? Why not use even Dogecoin, even though it was on the previous slide as a bad example? So why do you need your own token to operate on the platform? This is not a good setup. And then a subset of the non-productive tokens, we have governance tokens, which are used in order to bring a level of decentralization, in order to enable a community to manage the project, so that we no longer have a central authority which is deciding which direction does the project take, but rather the community can vote and guide the project in one way or the other. So essentially, here I have written value of governance tokens. Actually, it was a very good precedent from last year when one of the biggest yield aggregators in the space called YEarn launched their governance token, and they said, guys, we are launching this token. This is a totally valueless token, and within 2 or 3 months, the token price increased from $3 to $60K. You can all calculate what is the CAGR of this kind of token. Essentially, somebody figured out that being able to manage billions in liquidity is not valueless. So you can, even being a decentralized management of this kind of liquidity, you can do things with it, and then it's not really valueless. And finally, we have a fringe token category where we have some very, I would say, exotic models which people have tried to do, like the Sweet Bridge discount token, coupons, or tickets. These don't yet have a good penetration on the market, so we are seeing those very rarely. But since Bitcoin is still blockchain is still a space of largely experimentation, we are seeing those kind of fringe experiments, and I think that they're very healthy for the ecosystem, that we manage to see how those behave and really what is the impact on those kind of tokens. Finally, why do we need the day in fee, meaning why do we need the decentralization in the first place? So essentially, what we see a lot of projects doing right now, and I'm sure that we can discuss further the legality of this, but a lot of projects right now are starting as a governance token, meaning their only function is governance. Then they move the project to a decentralization stage where there is no longer a single entity managing the project. And after they enter the decentralization phase, they introduce security features to their token, meaning they introduce revenue distribution, they introduce buybacks, which would classify the token as a security, but in this case, there is no single entity which is driving those kind of changes. So this is what we are massively seeing happening on the stage right now for many, many projects. And the more direct example, maybe this graph is, familiar to some of you. Maybe you have watched the Squid Game. Obviously, some guys figured out that they can launch a token based on the Squid Game. The token went, I don't know, like a several 1,000% price appreciation, and then they just rug pulled and they exited the project. So when the project is centralized, you always have the counterparty risk of somebody deciding, let's take the money and leave. When you have full decentralization, this cannot be the case. And this is one of the strong cases for keeping a project decentralized. And we mean fully permissionless and decentralized. I won't bore you anymore. This was everything on my end. If you want to learn more about tokenomics, come to our website, findas.org. And that's everything on my end. Thank you very much.